Hey. All right. Chill, chill, chill. So, yes, it's another segment of Devin Tracy is sick of editing. This is not Devin Tracy. Sadly, he has more hair than me, and 21 years old, losing it early, old school. I was watching Gavin right here.
Typically, they go to bed early too, so if they might not see last night's show.
God, his hair is ridiculous. And I was realizing these guys don't edit either. All right, so they just like riff for 2 hours. Now, I'm not going to go 2 hours right now. I just want to put something out there because otherwise I'm caught in this hell. You want to see my hell? Here's me doing transitions. So I'm going to keep the kangaroo super big like that. And I'm just going through thinking, I don't know, let's do a simple pan. Here we go. Click, wait, loading, wait. There you go. That is the time of my life being spent. And yeah, it's frustrating. Here's a little, let's see.
Covered a box cutter at the scene.
McDonald's. I'm stabbing it. I'm stabbing kids. Okay, so yes, a kid was stabbed at McDonald's. I'm going over it, but I need to add transitions and it's a pain in my ass. So instead, today we're gonna, look, let's just be comfortable with the fact that I'm gonna say stupid things and they're not gonna be funny or smart and I'm gonna trip over words and I'm gonna stutter and you're gonna hear spittle. Okay, like here's me drinking a coffee, just so we know. Let's just get out of the way. Watch. hmm Yeah, a lot of moisture in that. It's not good. It's not like pleasant ASMR.
What is your
Oh
definition
God,
of
I'm too loud. Okay, we're gonna go into a video, and I've only seen snippets, but from what I've seen, it's pretty juicy, much like my spittle. So we got a dude here. He is holding something called a white panel.
white privilege in one sentence?
That was really weird, by the way they did that. They like lingered on a blurred that. Like, what was that? It was supposed to come in and hit, like, and it didn't. Watch. That was weird. All right.
The white
All right, the white panel. So we got a guy, we got a little trap music in the background. And they are on, I mean, really, they're in the, he's in the power position. They are not. They are being grilled by this dude. And this came out in the summer of last year. So this is at the height of the manipulation of white guilt.
culture allowed the media to dictate what's right or wrong.
Honestly, previously, I was somebody who would say all lives matter.
Is that the
Wait, you don't say that anymore? So all lives don't matter. What a weird thought. So all it is a wrestling match, a tug of war over attention. Um, are we talking about you or are we talking about me? If we talk about you ad nauseum, that means I don't matter. I mean, by definition, it's like, let's say you have a baby and you don't pay attention to the baby. That's called abandonment. It's called child endangerment, and it's called a complete lack of love or concern or care. So attention is everything. And if we're going to sit there and bitch about black people, in their stupid brains, they think, oh, that's good because that's my concern. I care about me and my kind. So if someone else is doing that to the exclusion of caring about themselves or their group, even though that's the principle I've laid out, I'm fine with it. So they don't care that it's hypocritical, and they don't even notice that they are just attention-thirsty whores.
was the glasses that we
We're looking through.
looked through.
It was a very offensive term.
We're all
It's offensive for him for you to include everyone. So forget unity, forget equality, forget, I don't know, basic human dignity for each person. He strictly is a self-serving narcissist who only wants you to talk about blacks.
different people, man.
What is your definition of white privilege?
This guy feels short. I'm feeling small dick energy from him. And also, I do like that he is an actual black. Like, this guy is, oh, I gotta be careful. Whee, what should I call him? He is not a mixed breed. We'll say that. He's, this is not Beyonce. This is not Trevor Noah. This is not Eric Andre. This is an actual black.
In one sentence.
Look at his skull shape.
Not being discriminated against because of the color of my skin.
Oh, you're currently having that done to you, milady. Claire, and look at the guilt just on her face, like looking at him, seeking approval, like, sad face. I'm a white and you're a black. Oh, whoops. Sorry.
Okay. Not being discriminated against. All right.
Oh, all right, all right. Yeah, discrimination is a one-way street. Yeah, and also discriminate. What does that even mean? Does that mean there are no differences between people? So, where does wisdom come into this? Where does experience, where does knowledge enter into this? Do I discriminate against lemons when I don't bite into them like an apple? Is that discrimination? That's lemon discrimination. All fruits, Devin, all fruits are equal. This guy's wearing a freaking bracelet? What the what is that? I'm going to be doing a video about something called buck breaking, which Tariq Nasheed is pumping out. It has something to do with he's not happy with everyone being gay in the black community, and they're the most gay race. They win that award every year, the most gay. And wearing a bracelet with big little, nice. Edit. I'm sick of editing though, so I won't edit it. Wearing those little shells or ringlets, I don't know what they are. That is kind of gay. He's wearing a necklace too. Necklace and bracelet. Okay. Questionable. Did he ask what is white privilege and no one has an answer? Yeah, because is that a hairpiece? Because it's irrelevant. The only thing you could possibly be talking about is it's beneficial to be in the majority of a country, as in to feel comfortable with the majority people in your surroundings. Now, this doesn't even apply to blacks. Blacks always assume like they'll take the stat that America is mostly white and ignore the fact that we are severely segregated. So, what does it mean that, yeah, Alaska has some whites and Idaho and Montana and Oregon? What does that have to do with you in Atlanta? Nothing. What does that have to do with you in Dade County or in Louisiana? Nothing. So, your community could be mostly black. So, where is this privilege of being in the majority when you're not even in a minority? And these people have this identity that is attached to their DNA, to their spinal column, which is I'm oppressed, I'm a minority. And most of the time, they're not even that. You'd have to extend the borders, like the abstract notion that they're a minority, you have to just go outward for that to be true. I mean, do you see white people doing that? We could do that. We could say, in the world, whites are a minority. So, oh, we're oppressed, we're oppressed. Let's rally together. We don't do that because we understand and realize that A, it's bitching and gets you nowhere. And also, this is taking your focus and time and attention off of, I don't know, everything else, anything possibly productive that you could do. But we don't do that. They do. Now, let's see what their answer is. If it has anything to do with what I view as white privilege, which is really just a slur. It's just saying, fuck you, whites.
I think it's opportunity.
And also, it's also conflated, and that guy seems gay too. It also seems like just a way of saying that whites do better. So white privilege. So whites have more money on average. Whites live longer on average. Well, then it's a privilege to be white? No, that just means whites do better. I mean, you could totally arbitrarily pick a different race and compare us to them and say whites do worse than these people. Whites have less IQ. Whites have less money. You didn't do that because, again, you're self-serving and you only care about yourself. And yet they're trying to stroll into conversations like this and act like we are just the cat's meow. We're the greatest things ever, and we are completely above any level of criticism. You cannot criticize us because we're perfect. You're the evil monsters.
I can just say it in one.
I wonder if any white on this white panel are going to push back on this chocolate man and tell him, you're not perfect, bud. What about you? What about this? What about that? What gives him the right, I mean, or even the fucking audacity, the negrosity, to accuse white people of being in the wrong? Based on what?
Word. Opportunity. And it's interesting because
I think everyone in this room is gay.
I can speak to a level of privilege that's even above my white privilege.
Oh, are you Jewish?
Like, there's just privilege. And it
There's going to be a lot of that. Yes, yes, yes.
feels socioeconomic.
Socioeconomic. And that triggered this facial expression. Oh, socioeconomic privilege. Are we talking about Jay-Z? Are we talking about Kanye? Are we talking about Chris Rock? What are we talking about here?
Wow.
Wow, that was deep. So not only is my race better than yours, is essentially what he's saying. It's a privilege to be my race. What else could that possibly mean? It is better to be rich. Well, who didn't realize that? It's better to have more money than to not have more money. Well, there's twice as many whites in poverty. Are we talking about them? Nope. They are the unknown soldiers of this conversation.
Y'all thinking, boy. Y'all thinking hard.
Oh my God, what a goofy bitch. All right.
Honestly, being lucky
Ashton? That is a white name. Now I know why she's on the panel.
enough to wear the blinders and not even realize that you
Although that nose is pronounced.
got them on, you know?
That is wow.
I think
Wow, so you got blinders on and you don't even realize you got the blinders on. So, right, white people are Dunning Kruger because we're not always worried about the plight of the black, even though it's all fictional and exaggerated and ridiculous. And also none of our business. I mean, I would care about their situation probably inversely proportional to how much they care about my situation. And here's a newsflash: they don't care about my situation. In fact, they're more than happy to rob or beat me or just throw shade at me. So, yeah, that's look, it's quid pro quo. It's, you get in life what you put into life. And if they're putting in indifference and hate and anger, what do you think the reaction is going to be to them? Bare minimum, it's indifference. Like, I don't give a single shit about them. I mean, are you kidding me? They're sitting there going, me first, me first. It's all about us, me, me, me. And then if a white person adopts that same idea and goes, okay, well, I care about me and mine, they go, oh, well, fuck you, you're racist. You're not caring about me and mine. And it's like, well, you don't care about it? Okay, it's just ridiculous.
privilege is just that. I mean, knowing that you can kind of keep rolling forward
Right.
with those blinders on and never have to look sideways.
Sideways, it's called backwards. They're way behind us on all these fronts. So why would I? Yes, I'm looking forwards. Is that not progressive to look forward? No, Devin, you should be mired in the past and in the dysfunction of the black community. That should be your burden. That's your cross to bear. Nope.
We can choose when we have to care, when we can
Someone just said, mm-hmm.
choose when we're going to care about certain things
Yeah.
or
Oh,
be
no. God, these people are so basic. Holy shit.
involved versus
And what's up with that little jacket this guy's wearing? It's like, he looks like a drug dealer in Dublin.
it being something that we wake up with every single day.
Yeah. I get the choice to actively
Right,
take those
the choice.
blinders off.
Wow.
Wow. Ah, the blinders. Okay, so we're blind to the bullshit, and now we're being exposed to the bullshit. And so the general theme is there's something deeply inherently wrong with white people, and we're so cunty and self obsessed that we don't even notice that black people are being choked out by cops, hunted in the streets. So it's based on a lie. The whole thing is manipulation, and it's actually projection because the accusation is that whites are self centered and don't give a shit. Meanwhile, it's the blacks who are self centered and don't give a shit about others.
I've never had blinders on.
No.
Oh, bullshit. Champ, you have them on right now, and that's utterly insane. I mean, do you think this guy's going to do a special about the plight of depression in the white community, or drug addiction, or all of those people in poverty, or how about the twice as many white people killed by cops? Are we going to talk about any of that? Doubtful.
No.
Right.
Wow.
Oh my God, you see that glare that woman just gave? That was telling. Let me go back.
No.
Look at this.
Right.
Mm.
Wow.
You've worried about things that I've never had to worry about. Black women have worried about things that I've never had to worry about.
Oh, poor you. Yeah, and this black dude, he worries about things, or he doesn't. What am I trying to say? I worry about things that he doesn't have to worry about. Like, how do I take my excellent credit and make it excellenter? All right? How do I pretend like excellenter isn't a word? These are, or is a word. These are concerns of mine that he never shares.
My mother never had to have the same type of conversations with me.
That's, yeah, because it went without saying. Honey, when you're in the middle of a drug bust, you should probably not resist arrest. If you're getting tased, don't grab the taser and shoot the cop with the taser. Like, these are conversations that fall into the category of they go without saying.
That's privilege.
No, it's not.
Wow.
Look at this guy. He's loving the self-loathing on display from the whites. So he's like, wow, you're doing my work for you. Like, my whole point was to say fuck whites, but you guys are doing it for me. So fantastic. Wow, wow, wow. Amazing.
I would just say not having to worry,
That's a gay man. Like, straight up, that's a gay dude.
like just like you were talking about.
Unironically gay. That's gay face.
I think right now, because it is the Black Lives Matter movement, we do have to.
Well, also right now, I got newsflash for you. This is the White Lives Matter movement because I'm white and my life mattered, and it did matter before Black Lives Matter started, and it will matter after they are irrelevant, which should be right now. So our lives are happening concurrently, and why are you cucking to this group of people arbitrarily? Because you're guilty? Pathetic.
Specifically focus right now on the legislation that is
Uh-huh.
holding Black people back.
Oh, holding black people back from going to Wakanda. Right. There's legislation. We're dangerously close to a point. And now there is no point. So this is an illusion. It's a facade. It sounded like it was going to get to a point. What legislation? Do you think this conversation is now going to pivot to legislation? Oh, shit. She said legislation that was holding black people back, as in they are being contained. There's like a glass ceiling on black excellence. And what is that? What are you talking? Slavery? What are we talking about? There is nothing like that. And again, these people are talk about blinders. They're blind to the fact that they're only thinking about this conversation in terms of America, when we have a huge experiment known as all of the rest of humanity, where we have blacks and whites and they're operating and performing at the levels that they are. In every country, there's hundreds of countries that you could look and compare and contrast. Now, people will come up with bullshit reasons why those countries are a massive failure too. And it's all, garbage. Haiti. Why is Haiti Haiti? Well, because colonialism. What? Colonialism helped Haiti. You kidding me? That's the reason they're as high as they are, or as effective as they are. They have the infrastructure they do, the language they do. Jesus. So it's just so aggravating. But the idea is they think that we have a law in place that is holding them back, and there is no such thing. Yeah, and that's why he's like, don't know what you're talking about. This guy's like at church. He's like, preach, brother.
It's just actually not talking about it and doing the steps that
Doing what steps?
gets there.
Yeah. So in other words, the hidden message of what she's saying is, can we just like vote on the law that's holding you people back from being remotely functional so that you could shut up so I can get back to my stupid shit? That's essentially what she's saying. But she has to make it sound nice because as a woman, she's in public. A woman speaking in public is going to say nice things. They're not going to confront a goddamn thing. All right? Rosie the Riveter flexing her muscles and all that shit? Nah. Rosie the Riveter never stood up and said something controversial. Of course not. Because she's like, why would I? I'm going to get ostracized by this community. I'm going to be shunned. This is not what I'm about. I'm about togetherness and unity. And even if I have to bullshit, that's what I'm after. Why do you think women have frenemies? Women will gossip and talk shit behind people's back, but to their face, they're like, oh, hi, let's patch things up. Oh, you're an ally. We're friends. They live a life of lies.
So it's sad, but there is so much more to it versus just talking, obviously.
Oh, right. So again, what did I just say? She talked about a policy or a legislation that is holding them back. And she's like, just talking about it is not it. But like, you got to do it. You got to take the steps. You got to do the work. She still hasn't said one thing, not one thing, as to what she's talking about, because she is talking about nothing.
But that I think people also, over time and throughout history, have just kind of given up and putting their blinders back on.
What? That's not true at all. So the major steps in history were slavery, 14th Amendment, and the Civil Rights Movement. So the excuses are running out. You've run out of the excuses.
And I think that, and I do feel that this is a different time.
And it's really of note to notice that since the Civil Rights era ended with the successes that it did, and thus eliminating all the excuses that blacks could possibly have, they've gone way worse. They've gotten way worse. So like even I'm reading a stat today for like we had more murders this year than we did in 1995 during the heyday of just gangsterism in the black community. So you know how people used to say, "Oh, crime has gone down since the 90s." No, it hasn't. It's gone back up. We have record high levels of murder. So since 1960, every stat in the black community has gone down. I'm talking about earning power. I'm talking about educationally. I'm talking about marriage rates. Teen pregnancy. All you look at any one of those stats. I think even life expectancy has gone down. That might be global though, or in terms of whites and blacks. But that might be corona related. There's probably other shit going on with that. But yeah, an uptick in murder doesn't help that step, by the way. But look at that face. God, is she not a representative of me? Why am I not in this room?
Personally,
Oh my God! Imagine, imagine Christopher Hitchens getting up and saying, "We now introduce the award-winning, critically acclaimed, globe-trotting journalist and author Christopher Hitchens." What do you have to say, Chris? Personally? Oh fuck!
not to make it about me, but
Oh my God! This whole panel is about the black, so he made it about him.
personally, a few years ago with Time's Up and Me Too, I was always told, that it's always been this way and it's never going to change as far as,
What?
injustice against women.
What? Injustice against women. It's always been that way. It's never going to change. That's such a weird thing. What are you basing that on? Wait, crimes are committed against women. Crimes are committed against men. More. What are you talking about? Wait, so injustice, so she means, okay, she's not saying crimes, she's saying the criminals aren't getting punished, which she must be talking about sexual crimes, because sometimes they're hard to determine or convict on. Is that what she's talking about? Oh my God.
And it was something that never sat well with me, but it was just how it was, unfortunately. And Time's Up and Me Too proved that wrong, and it actually changed. And I really do
What changed? What year is she talking about? What is she?
feel, I mean, I know that there are lots of white men that,
Huh?
want to see change for black people in general.
Yeah, we want to see change. We want to see change, not the kind we want to see change with them, not with us. We're fine. We're doing our own shit.
But I really think women, especially, see that it has happened and it can happen. And
Okay, so women have had changes. All right, they got the right to vote. And by the way, black men got the right to vote before women got the right to vote. So let's factor that in. We had a black president before we had a female president. We still haven't had one.
now is the time. And I mean, it's way past time, but now I do feel like there's going to be actual change.
So in other words, she's trying to say, look, hey, black man, I'm kind of an oppressed person too because I'm a woman. And fuck those white men because they're the bad guys of history. And we are doing better as women. So, keep a positive outlook on the whole thing.
Because we're not accepting it anymore.
So what I using that analogy,
Defend white men, dude. Come on, bro.
and I hope this works in my head. I still can't get out of my head that the solutions that we're posing right now
You haven't posed one. Not a single one.
end up
I mean, how could a solution work when they don't even recognize the problem? I mean, so a solution? Are you kidding me?
with an all-white boardroom
What?
Right.
of all-white men trying to fix a problem.
Wait. This is a witch hunt and a persecution of white people. That's why you're in the room. And now he's saying white people can't solve the problem. Ironically, he's correct. They're coming to Daddy White Man saying, "Daddy White Man, can you please fix our pathetic community that's flailing and spiraling down the toilet bowl and has been since 1960? Can you help us? It's your fault, White Man, that we're the way we are." So you're kind of right, but not for the reasons you think.
And this level of injustice is not solved
What injustice?
when everyone. It's not a matter of bringing black people up to be as comfortable as us. That's not how that works.
oh, we have to be uncomfortable like blacks. So white people should have an inferiority complex like blacks. White people should be criminal like blacks. White people should resist arrest like blacks. No, no, no. It is about blacks rising to the standard of whites. Why do you think this conversation started with an acknowledgement that whites are doing better? It is you have a privilege of being white. It is a shout out to the fact that whites perform better in life and as a community. And you're thinking the problem is not getting blacks to up their level on all the fronts: teen pregnancy, marriage, education, jobs, savings, credit, criminality, moral culpability. They're failing on every front. And somehow we should sink down to their level.
Right?
Because that's equality, guys. Remember, we want equity.
It is that, man, we are going to have to get off our addiction to comfort.
Right. So it's uncomfortable that blacks fail. Correct. Well, our addiction to comfort? No, we have an addiction to live healthy, positive, productive lives. And we're not going to be weighed down by their bullshit shenanigans. So I'm addicted to that concept.
And get real messy, man.
No, we're not going to get real messy. That's their communities. We shall rise above. That's the point. And if you think that you're going to spend your life trying to lift up the most dysfunctional, cracked out of their skull, like criminal, thug idiots, if you think you're going to wait till those people get better or start living their lives correctly before you can turn to your life and invest in yourself, then you will waste your life. Guaranteed. I mean, this is just common sense, though. It's like, imagine putting your life on hold until the people of Papua New Guinea get their shit together. Well, you're going to die.
Right?
I see what you're saying.
It's a surrender.
I see what you're saying.
Otherwise, it's just a bunch of white people
Surrender?
in a room trying to figure out how to help out black people.
Yeah, and it's not our job. Why would you think it is our job? How stupid, how little of you, how childish. You're infantilizing yourself. Why don't you sit with some black people, talk to them about it? I mean, but it gets down to the root of it all. So the premise of the whole thing is that the reason black people are fucking up massively on every level, it's not just one thing. They're fucking up on every level. I mean, you could look at George Floyd. The life of George Floyd is a perfect example. It's not just that George Floyd, overdosed on fentanyl and meth. No, it's why did he have corona? I don't want to corona shame the man, but I'm guessing he wasn't taking the necessary precautions, which you can apply to all of the people in that community, and that's why they're dying at such a high rate. Also, their own obesity. So, self imposed health problems is why they're dying. What else is George Floyd doing? Well, he wasn't raising his children. He was having way too many children. He couldn't afford any of them. So, his children are all fucked and on a collision course with failure. Economically, he was a failure. Educationally, he was a failure. I mean, how many other ways can you fail? Like, he wasn't doing anything with his life. He was a freaking wasted drug addict who overdosed, and he resisted arrest. I mean, like, come on. This guy is a perfect example. This is just a guy. This is like randomly throwing a dart at the black community. And you're like, oh my God, that guy's a tremendous fuck up.
That's not the we've done that. And
That can't happen.
And we've done that.
Yeah, white people have done a lot to help the black people in terms of programs, affirmative action, all sorts of stuff with housing, and I mean, just handouts left and right. And they don't succeed. So at some point, someone in the room has to realize and accept you are not babies. You either succeed or fail. It's on you. It's on your people. Stop looking to us. It's not our job, and we have better things to do.
If there's no black person in the room, white people can't figure out how to help
Exactly.
me.
What?
Right.
You don't know me.
That's right.
What? Yeah, but we know stats and we know trends. So look, is this guy going to, okay, so here, prediction. He's going to, at some point in this conversation, say, here's how you can help me. Stop being racist, you fucking whites. As if a thought pattern of a white person is somehow holding this guy back. Just ridiculous. And again, it takes me back to, am I anti-lemon because I know lemons are sour? No, it's not. So the thoughts whites have about blacks are 99% of the time totally justified. And if the thought about a black is negative, it's simply an educated guess. So like if I think to myself, here's a black dude. Is he a criminal? The likelihood he's a criminal, by the way, is enormous, enormous, compared to other races, compared to an Asian, compared to, I mean, looking at him as a man, him being a man, the likelihood he's a criminal is way higher. So this is just stats. This is a fact. And if you're going to be such a petty loser to think, well, Devin, like most blacks aren't criminals, so for you to assume he's a criminal, I'm not. I'm assuming that there is a high probability he's a criminal or will be. I think it's 1 in 3. 1 in 3 will be in the criminal justice system in their lifetime. All right, it's just so above and beyond whites. Now, I'll do the same thing with a white guy. I see a white guy with some fucked up tats, or God forbid he's Hispanic or something. Yeah, I assume that guy is probably a criminal. These are educated guesses. The key word of that sentence, educated. This is education. This is life. These are facts. And these people are so concerned about their own image and about beating their chest and saying, look how great I am, that they're concerned. I'm the one of the good ones. You should have positive feelings about me, even though the people of my community and are fucking up on a massive scale, and you are totally justified in making the educated guesses you do. They think that is the problem in their community. And it is so not the problem. There's actual real world concrete things that you are messing up on consistently and generationally.
You know, you hear me, but you don't know me.
Right.
So there's no African American.
And you don't know them, jackass. You don't know them. So how are you better than them? I mean, it's so stupid.
In the room. I appreciate the conversation, but bring me or bring someone who looks like me into the room.
You are in the room. Now say a point.
And when we get in the room, you do have to surrender.
See, okay, that is the point. Surrender. So in other words, listen, you're not there, you're there to be chastised. So it's not a conversation, it's not productive. It's just this guy wants to blame you, scapegoat white people for his failure. Surrender. I shall never surrender. And as the ambassador of the white race, I encourage all of you to absolutely spit in the face, maybe literally, of that comment that he just said, definitely metaphorically. Symbolically, you never surrender. For what possible reason? But this is such basic language that he's using. He's saying this is a power move. I want you to defer to me, surrender to me. This is Islam. What does Islam mean? Surrender? I believe it is. And they talk about comparing the woke cult to that of religion. There you go. Surrender.
Right.
And you have to listen.
Listen and believe, by the way. Listen and believe. So why am I in the room? Why not just put a cutout of a white person and you can yell at him? Because that is as futile as what you're doing here. By the way, I say that it's not futile, however, because there are pussies like this who are exhibit zero strength, are self-loathing, have no sense of self, and get rolled over. They get steamrolled by these people, and they do surrender. And what does that mean? They send money. They don't stand up for themselves. They don't call anybody out. And they just whimper through a conversation like this, going, oh, I'm so sorry, you poor black, I've wronged you somehow. It makes me sick to my stomach.
I agree with you. 100%. I will say...
dissent, here we go. Come on, gay dude.
That surrendering the opportunity is not surrendering your white privilege. Like, I don't want to...
Oh, you're not surrendering enough, he said. He doubled down on the surrender. So surrendering your voice. So I'm going to sit in a space. That's their word. I'm going to sit in a room and get berated by a black I don't know and who calls me racist and blames his stupid failings in life upon me. And I'm supposed to surrender not just my ability to think for myself or speak up or be strong. I've got to surrender my white privilege and acknowledge I got to further self-flagellate.
I kid myself. It's here. It's here. There's no surrendering of the skin.
Right. So we can't peel our skin off. Not yet. Right. But we can't abolish whiteness. Is that good? Should we just totally say fuck us?
So stewarding the opportunity, stewarding the power feels like more correct.
Stewarding the power? What white power? What are you talking about? The guy who has the power in this conversation is this bleep. What power are you stewarding? What does that even mean?
That's a great way to use it.
But
I like that word.
Using your white privilege for good.
Using your super whiteness for good. What is good? What is good in this context? Here's what's good: speaking truth, uh, pushing back, standing up for what's right, putting these people in their place. Use your, it's not white power, use your dignity as a human being to school these people. Just fucking teach them
I
something.
mean, we can use it to help Black people.
Right.
Oh, help them. Well, are they helping us? What are they doing for us? Why would I help these people? I don't know these people. Help them? Why? Are they that pathetic? Help them. They're not asking for help. What help does he want? He's in the room. You need help, little black boy? Is that what you need? I'll give you a few free tips. Stop having kids. Go to school. Get a job. Offer some respect. Stop being a racist to whites. You jackass. Don't resist arrest. Is that helpful to you? You fucker.
How lucky are we that we get to do that?
Right.
Right. We get
Oh,
to do that.
we don't get what? Look at this. White people, we suck. Oh God, we're so in the wrong on just all of these things.
Right.
Look at this. It's so sniveling.
I would love to understand, and this is just something I don't understand. So I'm being vulnerable here.
Here is something you don't understand: how that black can just kill a man.
There are places, there are rooms where white men would step back, and they would make a place. And where are the voices? Who are the voices? How do we find the voices? How do we find the men and the women?
Oh, dude, they're grifters. And the blacks who will rise up to meet this request that this guy's making are people like Ibram Kendi, whatever the fuck his African name is, or, well, White Fragility Girl. But, like, there's tons of black grifters who will happily take your money. I mean, it's Ta-Nehisi Coates. He's up for it. There's that uncomfortable conversations with black men. He's trying to take Chris Harrison's job on The Bachelor. So these people are more than happy to sing the right song and to collect money. So to profiteer off your weakness. This is like a law of the jungle. And I mentioned jungle, and there's a black man on the screen, and that's no racist. People smell fear. People smell weakness. They prey on weakness. Dogs do it. Sharks do it. So it's like, yeah, you cannot show weakness. Otherwise, you're going to get jumped. You're going to get, I mean, it is a cutthroat world out there. So keep your head on a swivel.
Of color, of all color, who can be in the room, who can be in the room. And that whatever that room can be in the government, can be in the school board, can be like, where are these people? Why are they not already like knocking on the door?
He's going to say, we have been. You just haven't been listening, you fucking cracker.
Or are they? And I just don't see it. Because again,
this guy reminds me of a dude who goes into a negotiation for a salary increase, and he read that you're not supposed to speak first. So you're going to sit down with your employer, and you're going to wait for them to talk first because, again, it's a power move. So he doesn't answer that question. He just goes, In other words, if your enemy is fucking up and failing, don't interrupt them. I think there's a saying to that effect. Look, just this is going your way, so let this guy commit suicide, socially speaking.
Voted today. And so many people were running unopposed. Like almost everybody that I clicked on, they were running unopposed. I didn't have a choice.
Oh, you had to click for the white?
And I will tell you the one place that I did have a choice, I voted differently today.
Oh, he voted for a black because he was black, and he thinks he's helping the world. Holy shit.
Than I would have ever voted another time.
Do you see that? So this fucking chump, God damn it, people are pathetic. So George Floyd dies of an overdose. This guy votes for a black, knowing nothing about the person, and he just votes them in because they're black. And he thinks he's willing to admit that publicly and think, see, I'm learning, I'm evolving.
Wow.
So a great mentor of mine once told me that if you look at your pool at the end of the day, he was talking about hiring, but I think it's similar. If you look at the pool, it don't think the solution would
Black people don't have pools, and most of them can't swim. Facts.
have been if there happened to have been an African American on that list that you're like, I'm voting for them. I don't know their policies. I don't
See
know
that?
who they are.
He calling this guy out. He's like, dude, you just admitted to, I mean, totally aborting the whole point of democracy. And like, this is the most unethical thing in the world. And not to mention just patronizing. Hey, black, I'm voting you in. Why? Because you're black. Paging Kamala Harris.
Oh, I know their character. I'm
She's not even black either.
voting for them. I don't think that's the solution.
He called him out. Yeah, I don't think that's the solution. Really interesting.
I think you look at that pool and go, what is our school system, right? Is there economic disparity between Williamson County and Davidson County?
Yes, because whites are more functional and succeed more than blacks. And they do that in every country on the planet Earth. So how is that our problem that there is a disparity? How is that our problem? It's unbelievable. There's a disparity. Well, I guess the people that are doing well should really take account of themselves. No, the people that are doing badly should take account of what they're doing to fuck up.
Are their teachers paid differently? Are they trained differently? And we start there. What are we doing in our churches? What are we doing? I think
Churches, uh-oh. Oh, the silliness continues. Oh my God.
I think the solutions here is saying, Anthony, here's this church, here's this group of people. Let's invest in you. Financially, let's put our money in our mouth.
Let's invest in you. Well, now we've kind of cut to the chase. Spoiler alert. Hey, white people, you know that those blacks are fuck-ups? Give them money. Excuse me? What kind of a self-hating dickhead would you have to be to do that? Hey, blacks, I want more money. Give it to me. Come on, blacks. Oh, you're not going to do it? Well, let me guilt you for some reason. Hey, 500,000 or 600,000 whites died in the Civil War to set you free. I'm the descendant of those guys, so pay me. Hey, you commit more hate crimes. You commit crimes against white people way more, 10 times as much as the other way around. Pay me. Hey, blacks, you annoy us and waste our time. Pay me. Invest in them. Why on earth? I mean, put it this way. You know why people invest? For ROI, return on investment. What do you think a return on investment would be in the black community? You think you're getting that money back? Is that money coming back to you in any form? Like, if you told me you could pay blacks to shut the fuck up, I would listen to that. I'd be like, oh, I'll give you a tenner. I'll give you a tenner to go away. But there is no return on investment because the whole prospect it's crazy. It's insane. This it's not an investment. It's just shakedown.
Let's put our economic development. Let's put our opportunities here. And it's not a matter of we open the door, there's nobody knocking. It's like, all right, guys, it's just us white dudes then, right? I think it's the investment comes way down upriver. Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't. We should not invest in them. We should invest in ourselves. And we should invest in things that have a chance of returning the investment or, like it's just absolutely insane. And by the way, blacks do the same thing where they go, we should only invest in the black community. So black owned is a big thing. I mean, and corporations are supporting this. Big ones like YouTube and Spotify and just like they'll say they promote black people and they try to get those businesses money and they try to keep that money in that community. So if that is the policy you're behind, why aren't you doing that for your own self? I mean, it's so belittling to think of what a hypocritical, dickhead you are.
Well, I think too, as like a younger person.
Oh my God.
It's been like
sassy.
I need to broaden my scope. Like I need to be seen black voices. I need to be seen Hispanic voices.
What? Don't include the Hispanics. Why? This isn't about them. It's a perfect point. The Hispanics have very similar, parallel problems to the blacks, to a lesser scale. They're not being represented here. There's zero attention being paid to Hispanics. And he just made one sentence. They will not follow up on that. It's not Brown Lives Matter. No one's going to address, we should invest in Hispanic communities. No, ridiculous. Oh, by the way, why shouldn't we invest in Asian communities? Anyone? Jewish communities. Why not? Why did that not get said? I think you know why. And yet it makes no sense. Why shouldn't we? And by the way, who's Mr. Moneybags? It's just like, here, you guys have some money, you have some money. This is not how life works.
or any people of color. Like, I need to be following different my people who I follow on Instagram. It doesn't need to be all white.
All white on Instagram. So this guy thinks the the solution to life is follow more diverse people. By the way, have you ever seen black people and how they operate on social media? They have something called Black Twitter. They have black communities and they follow almost exclusively black people. And that is their culture and that's who they follow. And you're sitting there going, you're not going to call them out for that. I mean, if you're saying you should have a diverse mix of people in your timeline, are you going to hold them to that standard? And if not, how do you rationalize that? Either your policy is shit or it applies to all people, but you're not applying it to all people, so therefore it's probably shit.
Because they're going to
It's not coherent.
reinforce the same narrative.
100%.
Well, yeah, all white people are the same and we're in lockstep. So if you follow white people on Instagram, I mean, what a queer is this? Instagram? The hell? It's a fucking. Who cares about Instagram?
So I think one thing from like the past few months is that like I've been able to start listening to more voices of people of color.
Listening to their voices. And has that been beneficial to you? Has it been fun?
Recognize that they have different perspectives than me.
Oh, great. Yeah. And their perspectives are dead wrong. Isn't that interesting?
Do you remember the names of who you do follow?
Oh, who is he going to say here?
Anthony O'Neill.
Anthony O'Neill. Never heard of him. Oh, it's that guy, I guess.
Brownie point.
Yeah, he's a kiss ass.
Oh, man.
Sweet Potato Soul.
Oh, fuck.
Okay.
She's like a black woman that does like healthy vegan cooking.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's so big of you. I think we're on a road to recovery here, guys. This queer is following a vegan black. So, racism's over. Hey, blacks, you're probably going to be doing much better now.
Yeah.
And Austin Channing Brown. She wrote this awesome book that I'm reading.
That's it.
Put me on the spot.
No, just leave it there.
The language isn't great in it, but I have been listening to a podcast, Higher Learning.
Oh, shit. Oh, and they chastise whites, and I've been soaking it up, and just it's being spoon fed to me, and I'm learning how to hate myself and to pretend that I am guilty of original sin.
Yeah, I really like it.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it's things like that where you're actually getting.
And by the way, it's worth noting this narrative of you're supposed to be guilty of stuff you didn't do, and yeah, that doesn't work on atheists that well, but it might work on Christians. So my feeling is most of the people in that room are Christian. So they're already used to that. They're used to feeling guilt. They're used to feeling guilty for shit they didn't do. So it's kind of like just changing the variables a little bit. And yeah, I'd never really thought of it like that before.
Completely different perspective in your learning. You're getting
That's
a
what I'm
higher
saying.
learning.
Like, I'm shocked that you're listening to Higher.
I love Rachel Lindsay. I follow her at The Bachelor.
Rachel Lindsay, the Black Bachelorette, she listens to. This woman is an anti-white, hateful, idiot, basic bitch.
I mean, because they keep it raw. And I'm.
But I mean, but it's honest. I mean, that's how they actually feel. So how are you going to ever find out how, like, somebody?
Oh, I found out how they feel. I listen. I expose myself to the backward thinking of blacks all the time, and I laugh at it.
Else feels if they're not being raw and honest.
Yeah,
That's one thing I love
I'll be raw with you, as in I will not wear a condom.
about
I'm just kidding. I will not have sex with her.
your Black History Month roundtable. That was incredible
Yes.
because
It was.
everyone was varied. There was a lot of disagreement in the room, but everyone had a voice and it was respectful. And I learned a lot about, from voices, like I have my friends, but to hear these strangers say the same thing my friends are saying, like it took everything up.
Why do I feel like these people are brain dead or, I don't know, retarded? Like, what is the point of what he's saying? It's nice to hear people talk about things. Why is that something we need to hear? Yes, we listen to other voices. No one is sitting there going, let's only hear white people who agree with me. No, there's many voices. There's many ways to hear all the voices. This is not something new. You've made no point.
A level as far as like we're learning new things. We're stepping forward. I definitely did.
Part 2.
Genetics loads the gun and environment pulls the trigger.
Behavior and belief, I think, are even more powerful than any leg up that somebody has or any privilege that someone has.
Are you saying that a part of the reason of the wealth gap is because African Americans, Black people, we don't believe
don't like saying it, but yes.
Well, it sounds like it's getting a little spicy. So already you know where this is going. If there is a wealth gap, the guy acknowledges it. He doesn't want to think that his people can't achieve. So he is, in his heart, a black supremacist, or he wants that to be the case. So to rationalize away the wealth gap, he has to come up with a reason that is external, not internal. And so he blames white people, he blames oppression, he blames history, whatever. And so he's never going to take accountability. He's never going to say, there's something we're doing that is making our performance economically not even close to being competitive with everyone else. And it's simply false. I mean, this is just, it's embarrassing and awkward to watch someone squirm in that way. Ayo, ayo, ayo. Why is this intermission happening? Holy God. Oh, that's over. The shit is over. Okay, well, we'll hit it up next time, I guess, where it gets spicified. That was the outro. Wow. Leave them wanting more, I believe is an expression. Fascinating. But that is peak white guilt because that was during the summer. We're still in that phase, though. I think people like that, and they were handpicked because they're pussies and because they're willing to play ball. They're not going to put on somebody with a backbone. And they're going to hold that up as an example for other whites to fall in line. Like, this is what you're supposed to think and what you're supposed to say. So it is repugnant, but I still wait. I wait for a point. I wait for something actual to react to, because all of this is emotional posturing. And I got my ears they're working, and my radar is on. If it ever happens, I'll let you know. And if there's ever a point I haven't considered, I'll let you know. We can't even get that. There's like zero originality in these conversations. Anyway, more next. That doesn't make sense. Fuck. Goodbye.